Roman Hamrlik. The Isles came in having lost 6 in a row, but they had some good jumps. Koski, a former Oiler, hits the post minutes later. The Oilers have a chance, but Rick DiPietro, the rookie, he was solid in this game. Second period, the Islanders draw first blood, and guess who? Roman Hamrlik had a pretty good game back in Edmonton. 1-0. Tommy Salo, former Islander, watching on. But Edmonton would answer. Still in the second, Dan Cleary is going to tip the shot from the side boards. His 8th, 1-1, but the lead was short-lived. Look at this goal by the rookie Yuri Kolnick, who just rips one past Dominic Roussel. That's a beaut. 2-1 Islanders. Third period, the Oilers tied again here. It's the wraparound from Ryan Smith, his 22nd. 2-2, which did not impress Butch Goring's parents one little bit, but they were happy about this. Late third, Koski feeds Claude Lapointe, who beats Roussel for his 6th. That made it 3-2. They added one more. Rick DiPietro gets his first win in the NHL finally, and the Oilers dropped the ball against the Islanders. This is one that they were counting on. Ken Chillibeck was at the game and files this post-game report.
The Oilers went into this game having lost only 6 games on home ice all season, and they were facing the worst team in the NHL, an Islander team that had won only 5 games on the road all season. It was a game most people felt the Oilers should win, but instead it turned out to be a lost opportunity.
Just didn't put the effort in necessary to win the hockey game. We, it's hard to explain. It looked like we saw a soft spot on the schedule, and we didn't want to put the work in to win.
Every team's good. We talked about it this morning. Every team can beat you. So, no, they didn't come out with more than we expected. They come out and played the same way they looked on film, the same way they played all year. So, I mean, some nights you're going to lose those games, but we didn't deserve to win the night.
Besides the Islanders ending a 6-game losing streak, last year's #1 draft pick overall, Rick DiPietro won his first ever NHL game. And former Oiler Roman Hamrlik gaining some revenge. Hamrlik, with a goal and 2 assists, was dealt to the Islanders in the offseason.
It's great to win, and this is a great group of guys to do it with. They have a lot of fun with it, and it's great. I feel a little relieved here to finally get that first one under my belt and hopefully move on from here.
I feel good when you score a goal against your ex-team. You know, this was a big test for us. You know, I know you guys have a good team. Lots of fast players, and you know, your power play is working very well. But I think we were a more desperate team tonight.
It was obviously a very disappointed Craig McTavish who faced the media after this game. The only saving grace for the Oilers is they have very little time to dwell on their poor performance. They host the Vancouver Canucks here Saturday night. Ken Chillibeck, TSN in Edmonton.
Marley Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins taking their show on the road into New Jersey. Lemieux getting a rough ride. Jason Arnott, lower part of your screen there, rips Lemieux down the ice. But Lemieux clearly rattled as he coughs on the puck to Peter Sikora. Now it's a race between Lemieux and Sikora. Sikora wins the race and scores the goal. Lemieux had a good view of it though. 23rd goal of the season, shorthanded, 1-0 Devils. In the second, tied at 1, Sikora again from the boards. The shot, watch it, just crossed the goal line. His second of the night, 2-1 Devils. Pens would tie it up, then Jersey on the rush. Scott Gomez, Sergei Brylin, net. His 18th, Devils up 3-2. Back come the Penguins. Jaromir Jagr over to tough guy Billy Tippett's nice pass and nice finish. Look at the celebration. He should be celebrating. That's his first NHL goal. We're all tied at 3. In the third, Pens pressing. Lemieux is stopped once and then the rebound scores, beating Martin Beaudeur's 20th. Pittsburgh up 4-3. Late in the game, Sikora steals. Out to Jason Arnott, scores. We're going to overtime. And in OT, Marley Lemieux, long lead pass for Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr alone on Brodeur. Brodeur makes the save. Jagr then beautiful pass to Lemieux. Brodeur turns Lemieux away as well. Brodeur helping his team to hang on to a 4-4 tie. Jaromir Jagr's 2 assists gives him 79 points for the season. That moves him into first spot in the points race, 1 point up on Joey Sakic. 4-on-4 OT was a lot of fun to watch. As a matter of fact, Super Mario says he'd like to see the NHL go to 4-on-4 full-time, not just an OT. So the Couchmaster wants to know, would the NHL be a better league if the game was played 4-on-4? Yeah, bring it on. Maybe experiment with it. Why not 3-on-3 or 2-on-2? Or just leave the game alone. Cast your vote at tsn.ca. We'll have the results later on SportsDesk.
Meantime, Felix Potvin stopped by the Canucks practice facility on Friday to say bye-bye. This was just before flying to Chicago to meet his new Kings teammates, and the Cat has no regrets about his days in Vancouver.
I love the city. I think the organization was great with me, and you know, Brian's been real good of moving me, and you know, I'm thankful of that. And you know, I don't have bad memories of Vancouver.
You never like to see you know, a guy of his caliber leave the locker room, but you know, obviously the writing's been on the wall for a little while here, and you know, for him to get another opportunity, you know, especially with a pretty good team down in LA, you know, it's a big positive for him.
An off day for the Leafs. They made a move acquiring Wade Belak off waivers from the Flames. They're desperately looking for anything to jar them out of the funk they've been in since just before the Christmas break.
We've been playing well for a long time now, and that's not right. And we're all in here to win the Stanley Cup, and when you feel like you're not on the verge of it, it's frustrating.
We've had a lot said this year already. We've had good, real good constructive meetings. You know, we got guys. We got, you know, Shane Corson was a captain of 3 different teams. We got Gary Roberts, who's wearing a letter on every team he's played on, and Steve Thomas. So we got a lot of core guys that say things at the right times. We got Glenn Healy that has, you know, how many games he's got. So we got the core guys to say the right things. So now it's just a matter of doing it.
We need everybody to look in the mirror and say, what can I do to make this team better? And otherwise, it's not going the way it should.
Elsewhere, it wasn't pretty. The Coyotes only had 18 shots on net the entire game. They only scored 2, and one of them was an empty netter. But the bottom line is they beat Carolina 2-0, and they gave Wayne Gretzky a win in his first game as an owner. Just before the game, Gretzky was a guest on Molson That's Hockey and had this conversation with Gord Miller.
Well, Wayne, you finally got a chance to address the team today. What did you tell the players?
Well, it was nice to be back in the thick of things again. I was really excited to meet the players and got an opportunity just to talk to them, meet them one-on-one, and we had a nice little conversation and basically told them that I've watched all the games. Although I've been on the sideline, I've watched them play every night, and they've had a pretty good season to this point.
They've had to spend the last 6 or 7 months blocking out all of this distraction. How did you view the way they handled it through the whole process?
Well, they handled it very well. I mean, they're professional athletes, and you know, your job as a player is to go out and play. You can't worry about everything else around you, and I know that firsthand of being a player. There's a lot that goes on within an organization, but the focus for a player should just be to worry about the game itself, and I think our guys handle that very well, very professionally, and consequently we're in the thick of a great race right now, and they need to be commended for that.
What have the last 6 or 7 months been like for you?
Well, it's been really interesting. You know, it's been a real learning process, but I knew back in May that it was going to take some time to put this whole deal together. It was a tough situation for everyone. Fortunately, Mr. Burke worked very hard to get this deal done, and Mr. Elman worked endlessly to pull this thing together. And, you know, I think that it was the hardest part for me was that it was the first time in my career where I was in some way a little bit uncooperative with the media. We were asked by the commissioner's office to publicly stay out of it, and that's what I tried to do. And sometimes that became difficult for me because I always felt that it was our responsibility to relate news to the media. That part made it tough, but the commissioner was tremendously backing of the whole situation, and I guess I learned a great deal about management side of being in the hockey game.
And now it's day 1 of your term as the chief hockey man in Phoenix, and there's so many questions to ask you. First of all, how do you plan to address the Bobby Smith issue?
Well, we're going back to Phoenix tonight, and we'll sit down with Bobby. I think that under the circumstances and the pressure that Bobby's been under, he's done a tremendous job. But I haven't had an opportunity to meet with Bobby or talk to Bobby. As I said earlier, I've stayed out of this. As far as Bobby goes, I'll see him in the next day or so. And that goes with the whole organization. Today's the first time I talked to Bob Francis. I think he's done a remarkable job under the circumstances that he's been under. And we'll address those things as we go through here. And, you know, one of the reasons why I hired Cliff Fletcher, he's got a great deal of hockey experience. I have a great deal of respect for him as a person. And him and I are going to sit down tomorrow and we'll go from there.
Wayne, safe to say, though, that as of today, you will have the final say on hockey decisions?
Absolutely. You know, going into this deal with my partner, Steve Elman, I understand that there's a budget that every team needs to answer to, but once that is agreed upon that the hockey decisions and the hockey meetings will stop at me, but quite frankly, I'm not going to be involved on a day-to-day basis. I'm not the president and I'm not the general manager, but ultimately things will go through me.
What about Nikolai Habibulin? He's been out quite a while. He's either an asset that you can have in net or an asset you can deal.
Well, he's definitely an asset. He's one of the great goalies in our game. He's a world-class competitor, his representatives are saying. I think he's a tremendous goaltender, but either way, as you said, he's an asset for the Phoenix Coyote organization. And at this point in time, it really is doing nobody any good that he's not playing.
Wayne, congratulations on getting this done, and we look forward to your term with the Coyotes.
Thank you very much.
Machine Gun Lanny has joined Canadian Hockey to help put together this year's entry to the World Hockey Championship. As we told you on Thursday, McDonald has been named Canada's Assistant Executive Director for the 2001 tournament in Germany. He'll work hand in hand with Wayne and head coach Wayne Fleming, putting together Team Canada.
I'm absolutely thrilled and excited to have the opportunity to do something for your country, and especially when you consider who did the asking, to have Wayne Gretzky recommend you and Bob Nicholson and Wayne Fleming in your corner certainly doesn't hurt. And to have that kind of opportunity, how could you possibly turn it down?
We felt that Lanny McDonald, having some extra time now that maybe some of these other general managers didn't have, would have a leg up. And more importantly, Wayne Fleming is going to have a lot of say in putting this team together. And he spoke very highly of Lanny McDonald, and he was very comfortable in working with Lanny.
All right, coming up on the desk, Shaq and Kobe down in the Hornets' Nest in Charlotte.
And we'll preview the Scup Tournament of Hearts, which will begin on Saturday.